Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be answering a viewer's question about religion. So religion. So this is it's funny because we get questions about what religion are we, if any, and we do have people that really want to know, like what we think about religion, and so we're going to then tell you. However, there are some questions that a couple of you asked, so we're going to answer those questions as well. Okay. First question is, what is our religion, if any? So, okay. So I'm gonna speak for myself, but you can interject if you want to, but I think Karen and I are pretty much on the same page with this. We're not religious. I would say that what I am is spiritual. Right. So people, when you say that you're spiritual, people are always like, well, what does that mean? That doesn't have any meaning. What does it mean? Anybody can be spiritual. People say that all the time to me. So what it means for me can mean many things for other people, is that I believe in God, a higher power. Sometimes you'll hear me say universe and God. I believe they're one and the same. So if you ever hear me say that, same thing to me. All right. But I believe in God, but I don't connect to God through religious texts, holy books. Okay. Jewish people have the Torah, Islam has the Quran, obviously Christians have the Bible, so there's different, you guys know, there's different holy books. So I don't connect to God through holy books. Okay. It's just, that's not something I haven't connected to. Now, you don't, so you feel the same way, right? You're not.
I don't believe in organized religion.
Yeah, organized religion. So
organized religion to me just puts God in a box.
Yeah,
and I think God's bigger than all of these religions. There's like over 2,000 religions across the world, and so to me, somebody's got to be wrong. Yeah, you know what I mean. So somebody's got to be wrong or right, or I don't even know. But I just don't think that. Well, for me, I think that it's fine. I think religion's fine, but just for me, I just think that God's just much bigger than all these different books.
So, all right. So yes, some people ask, do we believe in God? And you said that. The answer is, I do believe in God. I actually believe that, to me, that it's important for people to believe in something higher than them. Yeah. So I think when man only stops with man, you know what I mean? A person just stops with, you're the highest person in your world. I think that can be a bit dangerous, and you can kind of be lost. You can be lost. In my opinion, I think you can be. So that's just that. How do you feel about organized religion? That we kind of.
I don't mind organized. I've been to church.
Yeah, I've been to church.
I go to church. I'm going with my mom. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter where I go. I can find something from every religion that to me makes sense in life. It's just that I don't belong to a certain religion, because I just kind of think that, God, the world is one big church.
And I think that when, the thing about church, so we've been to churches before, that's not like that's a problem. I don't have a problem with people going to church either, to be honest with you. That's really their own business. I think that people should do things that is going to lift them, move them, better them. And if that happens to be a religion, whatever that religion is, then I say do it. I'm not against Christianity or no.
But also there are the things like divorce and abortion that I agree with, because I don't think that just because you got married you need to stay married. I think that some people get married and they think that they'll be, oh, God brought you together. I'm like, yeah, but not all the time. Sometimes you bring your own self with someone based on your insecurities, and then you umbrella it with this thing called God, and then you feel trapped once you're in this relationship, and then you I've seen said some vows that that at this time are compromising. When it comes to what you're actually going through in the marriage. So I don't think that I don't think everybody needs to be married. Also, I do believe in abortion. I think that with rape and incest, and if you can't afford a child and this happens, I think that I agree with abortion. level. Also with gay people,
I'm an advocate for gay rights.
Yeah. You know, I believe that people deserve to have human
civil. I think it's a civil thing.
Yeah.
So
and I also just
rights,
believe in human rights.
Yeah, human rights is very important to me.
You know,
gay people are humans. So.
And this is why I say when I think God, this is when God gets put in a box.
Yeah,
because I actually think God loves gay people. I actually don't think that He would bring anyone to this world to be sabotaged.
Right. You know, that's just one of the many reasons why I don't believe in organized religion. So church itself I don't really have a problem with. I think that when people are cherry picking, let's just use the Bible for instance, what happens is a lot, and I've seen this, you know, because we'll talk about that in a minute, but where people will say that you're wrong, you're a sinner for this, you're a sinner for doing that. That same person is cherry picking, literally doing sins, right? But it's cherry picking the sins that it's okay for them. You know what I mean? I had sex before marriage, but you know, I got excuse for that. I'm good. So I think that it's kind of hard to live by the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just kind of hard to do that, to live by the Bible. So in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with church. There's nothing wrong with any holy books, to be honest with you. But I think that when you are trying to live your life directly by the Bible, and you're not even that you're saying that you are, and you're not, that's hypocritical.
Right. And I know a lot of religious people that literally, I'm going to say this, like most religious people I know, almost all of them,
right,
don't live Christian.
No.
And so it doesn't turn me on to be Christian when I see Christian people not being being hypocritical and not living up to their own standards or to the standards that they set for themselves. So I'm like that with anybody though. I don't like for people to tell other people to lose weight if you're not doing it. You know, if you're not working out, don't tell me what I need to be doing. You know what I mean? So the same for me is like religion. If you're not going to live up to that text, then you know,
I get it. You know what's funny is there's a lot of Christian people that I know. Most people that I know are Christian in some way, but like in Bible Belt areas, it's a little bit different. Like they're really like Bible beaters. Yeah, you know what I mean. And you gotta believe this way, you gotta believe that way. And Jesus this and Jesus that. You know, and it's like I'm not I'm not condemning your belief in Jesus and the way that you believe. So why are you condemning the way I believe? And the funny thing is that the Christian people that I know always want to talk to me about all the wrong things they're doing, right? They always feel very super comfortable. They know that I'm not religious, right? So all of a sudden I become for some reason they can just tell all the bad things they're doing. Oh yeah, I'm doing this sexually and I'm doing that, and you know, I'm living this way, I'm drinking, and you know, it's like they feel comfortable with non-religious people, and then like when they get in front of their people, obviously I'll use the word some, not all. We all know I'm not talking about all, but a lot. The ones I know are doing non-Christian things behind the scenes that they show me, right? But then they go to church and it's a whole nother thing. So, you know, that becomes a little bit of like, you know, this is when you start side-eyeing and a little bit like, wait a minute now, what you doing? Because that's not how you're acting.
But there's a great show called 31 Days. Oh, and there was it's a show where this guy, he
did the Super Size Me, right?
Yeah.
He did Super Size Me.
He does
documentary. I'll link it.
He does lots of different. It's a series. Yeah. So he just where you have to live someone's life for 31 days.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And so this guy is like a Midwestern Christian guy. Like I think he's like a farmer. Yeah. And he was real Christian, and he had a feeling about he had weird feelings about Muslims because of the 9/11 attacks, and he was also a military guy. So because we went to war with, we went overseas and we went to war with Iraq, and a lot of Muslims there. He had judgment. Right. Them, and he thought that they were all Unabomers and all of that. And so he went to go live in Michigan, because Michigan has a huge Muslim population, and he went to go live with them for 31 days. But what he learned though, which was interesting because he had to wear the whole garb. What he learned though is how much the Muslim people knew about his religion, but how much he didn't know about his own religion. It's pretty amazing. And so he was talking about going to have a couple beers. Don't you just unwind? He was like, no, we don't do that. Muslims, he was like, why? Why don't you just have a good time? He was saying something from, the Bible.
Yeah, he was doing.
And the guy was just like, is that part of your religion? And he looked at him and said, no, it's part of your religion.
as a Christian person.
I find that was a very interesting, because here are two religious people having an experience, and at the end, he really, realized, brought down his guard about Muslim people. But I think it's interesting, because I think the best thing that my mother ever did was not give me religion. Mm-hmm. My mother's religious.
Well, this is another question.
You know what I mean? So, which is interesting. My mother's more of a religious person, but she didn't give it to me. So I think that because she didn't, I think it helped me to be more open.
She probably won't love to hear that, but it was actually a very, it made us more what's the word? Free thinkers.
Yeah.
So it made us like free thinkers, because we weren't raised religion, which is another question that was asked of us. Were we brought up in the church, or is our family religious? So people kind of want to know that. Right. No. So we weren't brought up in church. Now our family went to, I guess, church on the days, the Easter, the midnight mass. Catholic was we had a kind of Catholic family, but saying that we're practicing Catholics, I'm not sure that I would say that. I didn't go to church every Sunday. It was not that type of deal. But they went to Catholic. My aunts and uncles and stuff went to Catholic school. I think all of them went to Catholic school. My mom, obviously my mom did. And so they know some stuff. They know the Bible, right? And so when we were in teenagers, to answer the question, my mom got back into the Catholic religion. So she started to get heavy into that and really take it seriously. That was her path, and she was going that way. So she she wanted to have us baptized to, for what other reason? To save our souls, right? This is why Christians do this, amongst many other reasons. A lot of it is because they want to make sure our souls are saved. And that's what baptism is all about. You guys know if you're religious in any way. So she enrolled us in what they call RCIA, was a rite of Christian initiation for adults. I think it's what it's called. I think it's a rite of Christian initiation for adults, I believe. And so this is kind of like the class you take to become Catholic and to understand the faith. There's 4 stages of this, it's 4 stages of it, and it leads up to obviously the baptism, right. And then you are now saved, right? So you go through all that. So now so I really was, when we went to this program, how old were we? We were like, teenagers. So we were young teens, like 13, 14?
No, we were older.
We were like 17. We were 16, 17. I didn't really want to do it. I didn't want to do it. But I will say that I fell in line and I did what my mother wanted to do because, she's paying for our life. And that's one part. And then the part is that, you don't want to disappoint your mom. She was real excited about it. So
right.
I wasn't. But I did it, went through it, did the whole thing, got baptized. But I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't connect to God that way.
All right.
You know what I mean? I didn't have that type of connection. Everyone connects differently, and that wasn't my path. There was a lot of questions that I had, and a lot of the people there didn't like a lot of questions. And Kara actually, because you left, you did it. Kara did it. Then you.
I started it, and I couldn't take it.
Yeah,
and so I just couldn't. When I went, I was a high schooler.
Yeah,
I was like junior or senior year,
right?
And I just was too. I was in a very rebellious time in my life,
right?
And I honestly just didn't want to go. I wasn't interested at that time in my life. I was just more interested in having fun.
Right.
I wasn't interested in taking life seriously at all.
It was like midweek on Thursday.
It was like a torture session to go to these things because I just thought I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to do it. But then I did go back later after I graduated and after I moved out of my mother's house. I actually went with my mom.
Yeah.
And I went through it. I still didn't connect with it, but I did take it as a time to, I'm a little older, but I took it as a time to learn about Catholic religion.
At least learn about it.
And I learned that it's not for me. But I also understand, though, what I took from that situation is how many people love being Catholic because I was around a lot of Catholics. But what I really learned over the years about religion is that your relationship with God is personal.
Yeah,
it's not something you just do. You don't follow the leader. Just because your mom is Catholic or just because your parents were Baptist or just because you're Black, you need to go to a certain church. It's a very personal relationship, and I have a very, very personal, deep relationship with God that I don't share all the time with people, because to me it is. I don't go on. I don't really talk about it on social media.
Yeah, I don't post up prayers on social media.
I don't do videos of myself praying. I don't pray on Facebook. I don't do that. To me, when I talk to God, it's usually alone. Yeah. During a meditation. Yeah. Where I am in my own world and I'm silent and the room is completely quiet. Right. You know what I mean? And so to me, that is my connection with God. Also, I think that I believe that God is part of me. I don't think it's something outside of me. Right. I don't think it's something in the sky somewhere. I think it's part of who I am and where and how I walk through life. And so with that, I don't have a problem with religion, because however you can get to that point in life, then religion is completely valid to me.
Well, because I think that everyone's trying to get to not everyone, but most people that are religious are just spiritual, like I'm, like what I am, are all trying to reach God in just a different way. And so nobody's way is necessarily wrong. Is, you know, I mean, it's necessarily wrong. It's just it's like you were saying, it's just like a personal like connection with it. And no one should be judged on that connection is a thing. But what we find is that you will get judged, you know what I mean, on a lot of that. So like I was saying earlier, that when you say that you're a spiritual person, especially when you say it to Christian people, and I'm centering out, I'm going to center out Christian people a little bit here. If you notice me doing that, it's because this is, for me, fact in my life. It's not, this is, again, I'm going to repeat this, that it's not all Christians. I'm not saying that. But the ones that I encounter are very judgmental towards me and the way that I believe. And they feel that you cannot believe in God if you do not believe in the Bible. Yeah. If you don't understand, pick up the Bible, read the Bible, right? Then there's no way that you can believe in God. I've actually been told this, right? And I'm here to say that you can believe in God. You know what I mean? Because it's, again, a personal thing within you. So I feel like Christian people a lot of times will judge. You know what I mean? They will judge to a very high extreme. And it's unsettling sometimes, especially when I see how their behavior is. You know, some of their behaviors are, and it's like, well, no, but you're not doing the Christian thing. But then I'm, you know, like like I'm the big sinner. You know, that's another question someone asked about sinning. Do we believe in sins and, you know, all of that? No, so I don't believe in I don't believe in following the Bible in that way. Like following the Bible is not the way that I connect. So no, I do not believe.
I don't believe in sin. I think that I believe in mistakes. And I also believe in redeeming things yourself. That aren't. I always believe that people live in ways that aren't popular. Yeah, but it doesn't mean they're. To me, I don't like the word sin because it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. Right. And I don't think that if you're like gay. Yeah, that's not a sin to me. You know what I mean? That's just who you are.
If you're divorced, you know what I mean? That's not a sin.
I don't think that's a sin to me. If you if you get drunk, that's a mistake. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's a mistake. You know, if you to me, I think that it blankets, that word blankets you, right? And it makes it lumps everything all into one little thing. And I just that's the reason why I don't really get into organized religion, because I do think it puts everything into this little box, and where it makes you feel like bad about yourself. And I have to say that most people that I know that are religion are guilt ridden, and they feel bad about themselves. Have a lot of fear. And I think a lot of that, and have a lot of fear, and a lot of that I think is the reason why a lot of people rebel. Yeah, because your natural instinct, when you're being told, especially when you're an adult, when you're being told to live a certain way, and you can't live on that. You know it's too hard to live with on that sort of status. Then your natural self will rebel against that. Right. I think a lot of times when pastors and rabbis and stuff get caught with prostitutes, I think a lot of it's from pressure. Yeah, it's a lot. I think it's priest. Well, not the child molestation. Not the child molestation thing. Nobody was molested. There's a lot of priests out here. There's a lot of priests out here who have mistresses. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a lot of pressure to be on that pulpit and have to live this cleansing life where you never make mistakes, because you are a human. You aren't God. Yeah, you're a pastor, but you're not God. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I think there's this feeling that you have to do everything right because you're standing up there and you're giving out all of this text. Yeah, and the truth truth is like on some level, you want to do it, so now you have to live by example.
Right.
But on the other hand, you are a human being. You're not you're not some weird, God freak.
Yeah.
Where you're not, God is God. You're human. We're supposed to, when we're on earth, we're supposed to be human.
Yeah.
We're supposed to make mistakes. We're supposed to live according to what's deep within us.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't do what they really want to do because they are fear of being judged by something that, they don't live the way they really want to live because they get fear, or they don't get a divorce and they just get in these horrible relationships and they stay in them because they're fear of people saying, oh, you did take your vow serious.
Right. It's like,
you know what I mean?
It could be, and a lot of people, like, speaking of marriage, like a lot of people, like I know a lot of people who have gotten married and say that this is a union of God and all that. I'm like, God didn't put this together, and that. You put it together and it became a hot mess. And you try to go get married in the church or whatever and say that God is the one that put this together, when the whole time this was not built on God, a godly relationship. It wasn't that, but you still did it. Right. You know what I mean? That to me is a mistake.
Right.
But if you get divorced, knowing you made that mistake, then you're a little bit screwed there in the church, because they're going to be looking at you with judgment. Right. With judgment, you know what I mean? And then that's when the fear happens, the anxiety starts up. A lot of religious people have a lot of anxiety too, because of the fact that there's so many rules. And then it's rules that I don't think that humans, just regular human behavior, I don't think that they're able to follow. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not logical. Some of it's just not logical. They can't follow the Bible. I mean, it's really difficult for them. Every religion has a leader, the rabbi, the priest, the pastor, deacon, whatever it is. Okay, they all have a leader of their congregation. Okay, and a lot of the times the congregations will look at the leader as God. You know what I mean? As this is the pastor of the church, but for some reason they get it twisted that this person is God. And this person is a man or a woman, is you. You know what I mean? It's just teaching you, and they would speak well through, whatever their religious belief is. When you start putting all your trust into the person up there, and you forget to put your trust in God, just you skipped something there. Like, you put your trust in God. Don't put your trust in man like that all the time, because that person there is really just human, flesh too. And they will make mistakes.
I went to church with my mom once, and Father Joe once did an interesting sermon, but he was saying how he realized how important and how much responsibility he has as a priest. And he said that he didn't really realize how much it was until one day this little boy came into him and said, God. He came to him and said, "Hi, God." And he said he realized that a lot of little kids thought of him as God, because he said, and I never even realized that I came across like that way, and that when we are talking, we have to make these kids understand or realize that we are humans, and that I'm a man. Yeah, I'm not God, but he's just like, and so little kids because they're so impressionable, right, that they can just believe that whatever they're taught,
right, and
you know what I mean.
So for him to look at the priest, Father Joe, and think, oh God, that's God. It's like, no, it's not. Which is why I was saying before that.
But he also said though that he says, I wonder how many adults look at me not as God, but how many adults in this room right now are looking at me more than what I am.
When we go,
and I thought that was actually, I thought as for a priest to say that was humbling.
Sometimes you look at how people are looking at the priest as he's giving his sermon, and I'm looking around at the people, and they are looking at him like he is somehow, like he's not human, like he's just this,
and I get it. He's sitting there with
the robe,
and everybody's listening to him, and they were talking about religion, right? So he must be.
Yeah, so I can see where it get kind of messed up. So whenever I see people get so disappointed and disappointing their pastor, and they get so disappointed and disappointing their priest or their rabbi, whatever it is, I'm like, no, look. I understand that you see this person every whatever Sunday, whatever your time to go to your holy place is. I understand you not wanting to disappoint them, but please understand these are people too. They will make mistakes as well. They are human beings. But don't put all of yourself into the human up there talking about that.
Right.
Respect that person for understanding how to give you some type of guidance. A lot of the congregation feel they have a specialness to them, which is why they the pastor T.D. Jakes, for instance. People think there's something special to him, that he's able to speak to all of them. So there is something about him, and charisma enough to tell you guys whatever the religious teaching is, but don't. It's like the most important thing to me is just don't confuse that person up there with God. That is not God.
Yeah,
it's not sense. God. You know what I mean?
Kirk Franklin shared that he was addicted to porn.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of people had a lot to say about him, but I'm thinking that's the honest truth, though.
Yeah,
he felt a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
On his situation, because he does love the church, he does love God, and here we are, and he's having a human feeling, a human issue, and you know what I mean.
And people of his faith, of his church, were disgusted with him. Oh, he lost a lot. You know what I mean? I thought to myself, he's talking about something that they're trying to pretend and be holier than thou, and he's sitting here trying to tell you there are lots of people who are struggling with this very thing, and he just happened to be into the church. You know what I mean? And he mentioned it, and then people looked at him of his own faith like he was a piece of crap. And I'm thinking, no, he's struggling with something. Obviously, the guy's struggling with something. He said it, and he shouldn't be condemned for that.
Yeah.
I said, why would I don't understand?
I can only imagine what it's like when they want to get a divorce.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
You know what I mean? Like, or if one comes out gay.
No.
I mean, it's hard when life hits you, or when your real self comes out.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay on that level. You know what I mean? And I think that pastors and priests really do need a place where they can be that. Be themselves. I don't think that they should be worshipped like that.
Well, if you guys know, I'm sure you guys do know Kev on Stage. He's a Christian. He's a comedian, Christian-based comedian, but he's extremely funny. Kev on Stage, I watch him all the time. He's really, really funny. But him and his wife have a podcast. I cannot remember what the name of the podcast is. I'll find it and link it below. But they have this podcast, and what they do as a Christian couple, although I can't connect with them through their faith, I definitely love what they have to say, because they're talking about taboo issues that they say that Christian people will not bring up. He talks about it. Him and his wife, they talk about this, and I think it's a good thing, because they're in their 30s. Yeah, they're in like mid 30s, and they're kind of putting out there that it's okay to be human. You know what I mean? And they were raised in a church where you can't be that. I think his wife is very open about the fact that she was stifled a lot as just scared of a lot of things, because she was so sheltered into the church, but the fact that they're bringing that stuff up and making it more normal for people who are Christian, I think that will make them feel more less scared.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm a black woman that likes to date black men. It's really, most men I date are religious.
Right.
Because most black people are church people.
Yeah. Especially here.
You know what I mean? But, and they're religious with something. Muslim. I've dated Muslim men. I've dated, Christian men. Yeah. And for me, especially with, if I ever have any kids or anything, I want them to choose what they want. I don't want them to follow me. And think that they have to be something because I am, or
because a lot of people do things for traditional purposes. Some people don't even want to be, whatever faith they are. They just did it because it's tradition. They were brought up that way, and then they find out later on, well, I think I want a different direction. I don't want to do that. We were exposed to Catholicism, so we were exposed to that in a lot of ways. Like we always, the rosary. My grandmother always had a rosary. Just the religious figures around. You got the crucifix and all. All of that was always around. And so naturally, if we were going to be religious, that was going to be put upon us, right? Yeah. The Catholic faith was where we were going to go if we were going to do it. And that's what ended up happening. So I got baptized Catholic, right? But I didn't connect through God. I didn't connect, which is another question you guys asked. Like, when did you find your faith, or if you have one? And so for me, it was honestly, I feel like there's milestones in your life, like little parts of your life that, that kind of like stand out. And one of the biggest ones was what happened here. We came back home and kind of had to start our life all over again. I was really like, you guys know our story. If you watched it, I'll link the video above me somewhere if you want to see it. But losing all your stuff, it was almost like I was stripped of everything, that all my comforts down to really what consider be my rock bottom for my life. And I think that the universe, God had to kind of get me there for me to get here. Right. Yeah. So I think at first you're thinking, gosh, what is a punishment? What's happening? But I don't think so. That's when I found spirituality. That's when I got more connected to God, is when I lost everything. Because when you lose everything, it's a sad moment, but you also, you have to sit with yourself now.
Right.
Now you can sit yourself. And when things get quiet and calm, you start to connect to higher energy, a higher power. And that's kind of what happened with me, is that I connected to God in a higher power. It's just that it had nothing to do with church. Like, that was not even I was like, wow, this is how I connect with God? I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought I was going to be like Baptist or keep with the Catholic thing, or, and I would connect to God through that way. But that's not what happened at all. Like, I connected to God directly through my rock bottom.
Yeah.
And then I got lifted up, and then that's what hoisted me up to me now, Yeah. But how did you, is it the same way? Is that when
I mean, I just believe God catches you where you are.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think that you necessarily have to go to church. I mean, I went through a period of time where I did search through religion to find it. You know what I mean? Not just Catholic, but like, Baptist. And then I even searched like Muslim or things just to see. Because, I've always been very interested in religion. All religions. Buddha,
I've studied
Buddhist,
all of those.
And just to see,
their beliefs,
where I belong in that, because I think that's where we're always trying to find somewhere where we belong in the world, so we can feel whole. And
that's what most people feel. You're right.
I realize that you find I realize you're only at home where you are in yourself. You know what I mean? God is not in church always. God is not. God is where you are. Church is inside of you.
It is. It's just inside of you.
It just is. Church is really just inside of you. And there, just because you go to church does not mean that you are whole. And it does not mean that you are even religious. Some are just going. You know what I mean? But I do think that I've never believed that. Well, I used to think that you went to church, you were more, rich. But I've gone through life. I mean, you turn 44, you start to realize that, or I hope that you evolve and you start to realize that, God is really everywhere.
Yeah. Because I've always felt like, to me, I was
everywhere and everybody.
Yeah.
And and not only everybody, everything. All of the things that happen to you in life are your connection with the divine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every low point in your life, every high point in your life. You can't get to your high points until you can get through your low points.
Yeah.
You can't get closer to God if you can't get closer to yourself.
Right.
Once you start to love yourself, you get to closer, that is the higher vibrating part of your life, which is God.
And you'll find yourself becoming more and more calm.
I don't think
centered, level. If you find yourself, like, in my opinion, if you're like someone right now who has erratic behavior, if you have high anxiety, if you're depressed, any of these things, right? That's lower vibrational, that's bringing you down. I think that when you stay calm and you listen, I think that God will come to you. I mean, and will find you. But I don't think it's I don't always feel like it's in the sense of what you were saying, like, there's this one man up there, sitting up there, that. And although some people believe that, that's, it's your prerogative, but I don't believe it's one. I think literally, like you were saying, it's God is in all of us. We all have it in us.
I mean, I also think just heaven and hell, the idea of both, are inside of you. You don't have to die to get to either one of them.
We talked about this a long time. Remember we talked about that?
We're not our bodies anyway. We're all energy. So energy cannot die. So when we actually die, we're just dying our shells. But who we really are never goes away. So you can create heaven and hell right here on earth. Yeah. Most people don't realize that. A lot of people think like, oh, you got to die before you have to deal with God in that way. But no, most people are. You can live in heaven now.
Yeah. When we had the conversation, one time we were having this conversation at Starbucks, and we were talking about religion. We just started talking. We always talk about stuff, right? We were talking about religion, and Kara, it was really kind of a profound moment for what she said. She said, we got to talking about like drug addiction and all this stuff. We were just talking about a lot of different, like, again, lower kind of like depressing, like vibrational behaviors of people. And you said, just goes to show you that you can be in a living hell. You can create your own living hell. So do you actually have to be in a space of hell when you are walking around living it. There's people out here that I know that are angry, have a lot of pent up stuff within them. That are not coming out of their shell, or just some things within them that's holding them down. That would be what they would describe as like depression, which would be sometimes can be considered hell. It is if you're going through it. If you're going through it, So I don't know if isn't that question that people ask us too, Kara, is do we believe in heaven and hell? And I don't believe there's a space down there and space up there.
A line of acceptance.
When we go,
if you accept a lower vibrating life, then you accept that.
Yeah.
If you accept and higher vibrating life, and so if you're accepting God, then you accept it whether you're dead or you're alive. If you accept the devil, then you're accepting that living or dead.
Right.
You know what I mean? That is something that has to be accepted.
Right.
It's got to be something that you got to want to do. You know what I mean? It's not, it's both offered.
Yeah. Right. It's true.
It really is.
It's just a matter of what you're going to succumb to. And some of what happens is a lot of people's lives, destruction happens or something will happen.
Because I think that when a lot of people, especially, when it comes to Christian people, if we're talking about Christians, because that's who I mostly talk to, is that everything that bad happens to a Christian, they always, that's the devil's, the devil's, what's the stuff
the devil's working hard today.
The devil's working hard today. And what I've learned in my life, because I was kind of raised that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The bad things that happen in your life is the devil. The good things that happen in your life is God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the truth is no, because when you go through hard times in your life, things you don't understand, where it can be confusing or painful, a lot of times to me that's God.
Yeah.
Because I think that God is always trying to get you in alignment with yourself, and to get you in alignment with what where he is is, what I mean. And a lot of us live lives that aren't our real lives. They're a lie of a life. And so there's a lot of pain in living a lie. There's a lot of pain in faking your life. And a lot of times I think that the pain in our life is just, God trying to say, you're not living a really great life. You're not living the life that that put you down there to experience.
Right.
You're living a manufactured life that is being led by the society.
Yeah, and then you're still kind of stifling yourself, because a lot of sometimes people will ask us, like, oh my gosh, why would you guys put out our first video was talking about our story of how we lost everything, and kind of like what led up to that. And sometimes people ask us, like, what in the world would make you want to tell? Like, they're happy to do. We always get a lot of good feedback with that. But what would make you want to tell that personal business of yours? And I believe that when you share your story, not that everybody has to do it in the way that we did it, but when you share your story, tell the truth to yourself, your truth. Because in order to do that first video that we did, I had to already say it to myself alone, right? I think in order to when you tell your story, I think that your life opens up in a different way. I think it's like a immediate release. You kind of like forgive yourself,
right? And
you kind of move forward. So it's not easy, but I don't believe that, like what you were saying about it always being the devil. It's always because someone would look at our situation that happened, okay, and in some ways it's still happening. It goes to see around us, some ways it's still happening, but someone would look at that and say, man, the devil's working hard, no, I don't look at it that way. I think that God was working hard to get me to see you are going the wrong path, Danielle. So I'm going to take this stuff away from you to help you, not to harm you, to help you. And guess what happened? It helped me. It changed my whole life for the better. You know what I mean? It made me more open. It made me understand things a little better. It made me get in line. It made me disciplined. It made me be disciplined with myself. It just, with stuff like money, stuff like that. And so it just kind of made me open up to who I'm supposed to be. So this is when you're saying that it's not always the devil. It's not always the devil, you guys. It's not, to me, it's not always the devil. I think it's a lot more than that.
I don't think the bad things that happen to you are the devil. I think it's how you it's how you deal with it's how you deal with the problems you have.
Right.
Where I think that the devil can come in.
Yeah.
Because if you're greedy, that's devilish.
That's devilish.
If you're envious,
jealous.
If you're jealous, if you're angry all the time, if you, to me, that is like, there are a lot of people that have bad things happen to them, but it's how they deal with the bad things is where you know where you're leaning. Right. Are you low vibrating or are you high vibrating? You pick yourself back up, that's high vibrating. If you, succumb to, stealing and hurting people, then you've gone to a lower vibration. So I don't think that the bad things that happen to you are the devil. That could very well be God trying to get you together. But it's how you respond to the challenges of your life. Is where I think that the devil could live, and where God could be. You know what I mean? So you get the choice. You always get a choice, because to me, that's what free will is. Free will. We choose how we can live our life however we choose to live. You know what I mean? God gives us that you can do whatever you want to do. And you can treat people however you want to treat them, and you can do, but it's your choice. But how you live your life, to me, is more of, or how I live my life. It always lets me know where I am with God. There are a lot of church people who are very, very low vibrating and very, very low self-esteem, and they'll tell everybody they'll be trying to tell everybody how to live their life. And it's just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be connected. To me, religion is very personal. It's not. To me, it's not a public thing. It's a thing that it's a personal interaction you're having with the divine. And that's it. So if you're going out there for spiritual, if you're somebody who is religious and you're going out there for some kind of like spiritual guidance within say you're a Christian person and you want some help from a Christian person, that will make total sense. That to me makes total sense. If that's what you're aligned with Christianity, then go to a Christian person. Vet that Christian person before you go and spill your guts to them, because not all of them are aligned the way that they should be to teach you what you need to learn or help you through what you need to be getting through. Make sure that you are using your intuition on some things, because not everybody is there to help you. Not everybody's there to help you. Sometimes people want to see you fail, and so I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, but I don't have a problem with people being religious. I don't either. I think that it can help you depending on. I've been to Baptist church. I think that anything can hurt you if you're not in the right frame of mind. I mean, I listen to T.D. Jakes. I do too. I listen to Joel Osteen. Because you can get something out of it. You know what I mean? But I also listen to philosophy. You know what I mean? And I know that a lot of people just that are believe in whatever your holy book is, that you feel that is the word of your God. You know what I mean? And Martin Luther King and Malcolm X did a lot of great things. Both of them were religious men. You know what I mean? In two different ways, You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I to say that your connection with God through a Bible is wrong? It's not. So, just grant me the same respect, though. You know what I mean? So, I hope that answers your guys' questions. Tell us what you think. Are you guys Christian people? I mean, I feel like a lot of people that we know are, but we don't know a lot of you guys. Like, most of our subscribers, as we said in a video prior, most of you guys we don't know. You know what I mean? So we don't know what faiths you are. If you're interested in letting us know, let us know in the comments below, and tell us what you think about this video. So we're kind of interested in seeing different people's thoughts on this. We're extremely open-minded people. If you guys haven't realized that by now, we are very open-minded people, and we kind of just tell things as it is. You know what I mean? And we're opinionated, of course, but it is just our opinion. It's our opinion. So everybody has one. So that's it. Are you done? Yep. Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching. We are running out of time. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel. We upload again every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we like to have our videos out. I try to get them out around 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. I've been trying, y'all, but look. Sometimes it don't happen. It don't be happening. But so we try to get out around that time. So don't forget to subscribe to us, and then go to our Facebook and Instagram pages and follow us on there too. And that's it. Everybody have a great day. Bye.